People use the WhatsApp as a messaging, instant messaging. In Korean society, equivalent of the WhatsApp is KakaoTalk. Almost the 80% of the population in Korea uses this KakaoTalk as their primary messaging tool. But the Kakao servers only saves the KakaoTalk's message, voice, photos, and the motion picture for a couple of days only, and then delete it out. And they do not provide a means of restoring the lost data due to erasure or the forgotten password. So there are many demands to restore the KakaoTalk, which is erased purposefully or accidentally. So in this talk, we provided methods how to restore the KakaoTalk. But the complication is that Kakao saves this data in a Sqlite database in an AES cryptographic format. So we'll discuss how to decrypt this AES encryption. Restoring the deleted KakaoTalk database is similar to the restoring the photos, motion pictures in the deleted Android phone. So since we have covered this restoration of this erased photos and the motion picture before, we'll refer to you our previous YouTube if you are interested. The link is in the picture. In real application, the KakaoTalk database is already erased. But to understand the situation better, we decrypt the KakaoTalk database, which is encrypted by the AES, the Advanced Encryption Standard, where the key is constructed from the user ID and then the ENC type. So first, we analyze the KakaoTalk APK Android package, where it is located, and then we'll discuss where the database is stored and where the data of voice, photos, and the motion picture are stored. To pull the KakaoTalk APK from the Android phone, we first examine the Android phone itself. Now, by the way, this Android phone should be rooted because in an ordinary phone, the user can access a very limited area of the folder. So by rooting, we can cover every area of Android phone. In Android directory of /data/app, and then there is various folders of each package name. So the package name of KakaoTalk is com.kakao.talk, which also has the random ASCII codes behind this package name. So we pull out this APK from the Android phone through the ADB pull command. ADB is the Android debug bridge and features quite powerful to interface between the Android and the desktop, covering the PC window, Mac, and also the Ubuntu Linux system. So after pulling out this APK, then we decompile. Once we have decompiled APK of KakaoTalk, we can examine details of the KakaoTalk algorithm. The first, we look at the database, which is a Sqlite database, and then which is located in a source code of Android. And then also we examine various class of persons and like that. So once we decompile the version, we can actually compile in the Android Studio and then can install this compiled APK through the system. And then we can examine the logcat or the debugger of the Android Studio, and then we can examine the very details of these systems. Source code of KakaoTalk APK is divided into the two pieces, the sources part and the resources part. Sources part shows the major classes for the database writing and the database updating, and another classes for the person class which participate in the chat. So the most of the Java class is located in the Android and then Android extension, Android X directory. And when you look at the Android and then its sub database, then there is a SQL wrapper Java source code. And it has a standard query and the requery and the insert deletion. And in Android extension, there is also the database. And in a database, and the binding between the controller, binding between the palette component, like a button, and then the database or the major component of the classes is through the binding. And this is located in the library, data binding and the library. Cryptography is used by the human beings for a long time. Even 2,000 years ago, the keys encrypt the military command through substitution code. So the keys substitute each alphabet by the different alphabet and send encrypted military command through the various division of a military unit. Now the surprisedness of the text or the message is measured by the entropy, which is a minus sum of probability times log probability. So each character has an equal probability, then entropy is equal to the log of a number of characters. But in reality, the most of the characters have the very low frequency, while the sum of the alphabet has a very high probability. So for example, in a Korean alphabet, the alphabet R, which is a vowel, is almost 22%, and the iung in Korean alphabet is about 20%, and the vowel E is about the 16%. So if one included this monograms data in computing the entropy, the surprisedness, and then the entropy reduced significantly. And furthermore, if one includes the diagram and the trigram of the alphabet, and then the entropy is reduced further significantly. So by analyzing this monogram, diagram, and the trigram, and then through the about 20 gram, and which covers almost identical to the vocabulary analysis, then the encrypted text is almost certain to be decrypted. And there was a technique used in military intelligence for a long time. Now, the combining the substitution and the permutation to reduce the dependency of the engram and then through the entropy reduction, the block cipher was introduced, and they will become standard in the advanced encryption standards as AES. So this AES uses the combination of substitution and the permutation ciphers. Since AES is very, very important in today's most of the Android phone, iPhone application, because it's simple, and even it is used by some banks. Now, the higher security is achieved by the public and the private key system, but in a simple phone application, just like the database, the Sqlite database is used instead of some other non-SQL database or some other databases. The AES is favored by many applications. Now, so we cover this AES decryption in detail. And when we have the very small number of characters, in AES, since it's a block cipher, it should be multiple of 16 or 24 or the 8 multiple. So it is padded by the \0. So the AES uses the same key for encryption and the decryption. Now, the Kakao has adopted the advanced encryption standard, and then they generate the key through the user ID and the ENC type. So each user and then each ENC type generate the key, and this key is used to decrypt, encrypt, and decrypt this user message and his name. And the message is stored in a table, the chat log table of the KakaoTalk database, and the name is stored in a friends table in a KakaoTalk2.db. Restoration of the KakaoTalk in Android phone was made first rooting the Android phone to access to all the directory and the folders, and secondly, carving the image of the Android phone which the KakaoTalk is deleted, and thirdly, restore the database and decrypt the AES advanced encryption standard through the key of the user ID and the ENC type. And the Kakao adopted the CBC, the cipher block chain mode in their creating the database. Now, in the case of the iPhone, we first jailbreak the iPhone by the chain rain. In a similar way to the Android phone, the ordinary user is very restricted where they can cover in a directory and a folder. Once it is jailbroken, then one can copy the carved image of the iPhone through the DD copy from the iPhone to the desktop, MacBook or the Ubuntu or the Windows. And then we use the same algorithm of AES decryption to the DD image of the iPhone. As you have seen in the case of the KakaoTalk restoration, each application has some difficulty. So if you have the restoration of deleted KakaoTalk or some other application which requires special services of knowledgeable researcher and a knowledgeable technician, you can come to us. We have the knowledge of the Java, Swift UI, C and C++, and the Python to serve your unique needs. So you can easily consult us through the KakaoTalk or Telegram or the email, or if you are in Seoul, you can visit us in a Chongryangri in a subway station exit number 2